Cancer, gentle heart rooted in the deep tides of emotion. A profound turning of the wheel is now unfolding in your favor. This isn't a mere whisper of good fortune, but a sacred current of emotional restoration and nurturing justice, deeply earned and long awaited, rising to meet you. What approaches is not simply a stroke of luck, but a harvest called forth by the very roots of your enduring, compassionate spirit. This convergence, dear Cancer, is no accident. It is the precise rhythm of your divine timing. You find yourself here because something within your energetic field, a low hum, an undeniable pull, a subtle pressure, has gently opened just enough space to receive this vital transmission. And when the universe sends a signal with such undeniable clarity, it does so with profound intent. This, my dear Cancer, is not merely a forecast. It is a direct message meant for the part of you that has quietly held out for emotional balance, to return not in distant hope but in tangible, comforting reality. And if lately the days have felt thick with unspoken feelings, unyielding or veiled in shadow, then listen closely, for something monumental is now poised to speak. Right now, the crescent moon graces your intuitive waters, weaving its silver calm. When paired with Neptune's tender embrace in your own house of vision and dreams, a potent current flows open, particularly between October 23rd and 25th. This specific celestial embrace speaks the ancient language of emotional restoration, not just of external blessings or recognition, but of a deep, inherent truth of long overdue fairness, finally finding its firm footing in your emotional landscape. Take a moment, breathe deep, and allow yourself to reflect. Have you been patiently awaiting an emotional resolution, a profound repayment of kindness, an answer long lost, or a clear unveiling from a situation that turned your steadfast patience into a quiet ache? Then, Cancer, lean in. Listen with your whole being. This may well be that rare pivotal turn you have longed for. For while the universe does not dance to our hurried clocks, it always arrives with breathtaking precision. And what is now unfolding feels like a verdict sacredly etched with your own name. Before we journey deeper into these unfolding currents, if this message resonates, if it touches that deep part of you that recognizes truth, I invite you to anchor its energy. Please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Zodiac of Mind for more gentle guidance, and share this sacred space with another Cancer who might need this quiet validation. And in the comments below, let your spirit speak. I claim my emotional sovereignty and nurturing peace. Let your voice be a beacon for what is now arriving. Your presence, your every thoughtful gesture, be it a quiet share or a heartfelt comment, infuses this sanctuary with its potent power. You are an integral part of this resonance, and you have never walked this winding road alone. So stay with me through this message for what the stars are now whispering to you. Cancer deserves to be fully and tenderly received. But first, let me ask you, Cancer, what part of your being reached out? What inner knowing gently pulled you here to this very moment? It seldom begins with a shout, does it? More often it starts as a low murmur, not from the clamor of the world outside, but from the heart's own ancient wisdom. And on October 23rd, Cancer, that soft whisper transforms into a quiet ripple across the vast canvas of the sky. With Venus, celestial keeper of harmony, and heart's desires moving in a gentle trine to the moon's tender illuminating light, a rare doorway softly eases open. No thunder, no dramatic crescendo, just a sudden profound clarity that does not need external noise to make its deep knowing felt. You might feel it in an unexpected message that arrives with perfect timing, or in an emotional release that lands just as you thought a long-awaited healing had faded into memory. This is the kind of celestial dance the knowing ones quietly await, the kind that does not often repeat. Venus in her grace aligns fluidly with Uranus, the cosmic bringer of breakthroughs and pristine new beginnings. And this harmony, dear Cancer, sends a quiet but powerful signal. What has felt emotionally blocked or stagnant is now truly ready to flow forward for you. This particular window for you, Cancer, likely touches upon matters of your deepest emotional security, family matters, or creative projects awaiting their gentle birth. It carries the delicate scent of overdue emotional answers, the quiet finality of family resolutions, and the sudden clean release of clarity or opportunities, not because you forced them, but because their time has finally arrived. And the ancient wisdom of the tarot in its profound grace does not whisper, it confirms. The Empress card and the Ace of Cups appear, one gently demanding, nurturing, and emotional abundance, the other extending a tangible emotional blessing. The first reminds your spirit that everything in its divine timing tilts back toward nurturing equilibrium, even when the path feels long. The second is a precious gift held out like a gleaming chalice in the gentle palm of the universe itself. It appears for those who stayed truthful to their heart when an easier path might have tempted for those who held their steady, compassionate core. Together, these sacred cards speak of returns in emotional resources, in heartfelt recognition, in a sacred exchange for all the unconditional love you poured forth without immediate return. And then there is the deep hum of the number 8, the potent vibration guiding this unfolding. 8 is the ancient number of karmic gain and grounded power. It holds the gentle rhythm of completion of something truly earned finding its way back to you. It is akin to a hidden emotional treasury that finally opens, yielding its quiet bounty, what was always intrinsically yours. I have witnessed its tender truth firsthand. A woman, a nurturing Cancer, whose intricate family dispute had lingered for almost a year, saw it finally close in her favor on the 8th day of a significant moon phase. A man who had long relinquished hope for a heartfelt apology or recognition received it in full after simply returning to his own sacred emotional boundaries and spiritual practice. These are not merely stories, gentle soul. They are profound reminders that delays are not denials. And perhaps you, Cancer, have found yourself suspended in that very same weight. You have walked the path of integrity, stayed truthful to your feelings even when the cost felt heavy. You have shown up again and again, hoping, praying, nurturing, often without so much as a whispered thank you. And perhaps you've asked, will it ever truly be my time? Well, today the answer begins as a soft, unwavering yes. Not loud, but steady and undeniably real. If your chest is now stirring with the weight of what is possible, do not hold it back. Speak it. Write it down below. Name the emotional longing you have held in your quiet mind, the feeling of home and belonging you now believe is already profoundly yours. Let the universe bear witness to your readiness, not just in passive waiting, but in active, gentle claiming. Because this, dear Cancer, is one of those precious moments that does not knock twice. There are passages when life gently calls us to release, to let go. And then every so often, a rare sacred moment like this arrives where your only tender task is to root yourself in stillness and allow divine emotional justice to rise like clear spring water to meet you. You are not chasing it. It is already gracefully crossing the field toward you. You are not pushing it forward. It has already carved its precise path. Some sacred cards do not merely hint at change. They name the very moment everything begins its profound turn. When Judgment, the Star, and the reversed Four of Swords rise together, they do not murmur. They announce. These three powerful energies carry the vibration of reshaping, of deeply turning the emotional soil of your life. And when held up against your unique path, dear Cancer, they point to one undeniable truth: the emotional heaviness is softening, and the gentle fog of confusion is finally beginning to clear. Judgment in this context is not about blame, but about profound release. It is an invitation to rise with grace from emotional cycles that no longer nourish your spirit, and to step into the truest version of yourself, the one you have always felt stirring beneath the surface. When this card appears, especially in a message so tenderly guided, it suggests a significant emotional decision is now underway, either by you or by someone whose choice will beautifully reshape your journey. This is the sacred emotional document arriving, the awaited answer, showing up the gentle yes after a long season of stillness. But beyond the external shifts, this card speaks volumes of your own internal rising. The profound moment you realize you were never truly behind, only gracefully becoming. Then comes the Star, a card radiating hope, healing, and divine guidance. Its pure light cuts through what was once hidden, not to expose you, but to replenish you, to make you whole. You are being truly witnessed now, perhaps for the very first time, in a way that feels complete and integrated, not only by others, but deeply by yourself. The quiet, compassionate work you have poured into yourself, the inner resilience you have so beautifully held, it is now stepping into brilliant visibility. And with it comes the profound promise of emotional recognition. This is the comforting word, the deep understanding that truly lands the moment someone finally says, "We see your unwavering heart, and we are ready to honor it." The Star does not ask you to hustle or strive. It simply whispers, "You have already done enough. Step into your magnificent healing." The reversed Four of Swords brings a gentler, more intimate message, one that touches the deepest places within. It speaks of the beautiful cessation of emotional restlessness, of overthinking, of the subtle fear that if you cease holding everything up, it will all fall apart. This card in this profound position assures you that emotional support is now gracefully arriving. Balance is being exquisitely restored. You are not expected to carry the entire emotional weight alone any longer. Whether it manifests as deeper connections, precious quiet time, or a newfound sense of inner calm, your energy is shifting from constant emotional giving into grounded, serene receiving. I remember a Cancer client who only a few months ago found herself constantly tending to everyone else's needs and still bravely struggling to feel secure in her own home. She sought not predictions but profound peace. She gently began a practice of grounding meditation, journaling at dusk, and creating soft, sacred boundaries around her emotional energy. Her inner soil, her very being, subtly shifted. Then, as if from nowhere, a former friend reached out and offered her a deep, unwavering friendship with the kind of mutual support she had always craved. The profound shift began within, and the world simply beautifully responded. That, my dear Cancer, is the piece we so often miss. When you honor your emotional worth quietly and consistently, the universe in its own perfect timing eventually answers back loud and clear. In truth, what is now unfolding in your life may be tenderly tied to seeds planted as far back as July, seeds of deep emotional care, unwavering empathy, gentle forgiveness, or even a daring, quiet hope for a true home. You may not have witnessed immediate sprouts, but rest assured, the roots have been deeply and busily expanding. So I ask you now, as a sacred affirmation, what did you carefully tend in your heart back in July, with the hopeful intention that it might one day bloom? Comment below with the phrase, "I nurtured my seeds and now I embrace my emotional harvest." Even when time seems to move at a slow, deliberate pace and answers feel distant, divine justice works its gentle way beneath the surface. The universe never, not once, overlooks the precious moments you chose. stillness over frantic emotional struggle, grace over sharp retaliation, faith over desperate control. And while you were never meant to force the outcome, you are meant now to recognize when the outcome has finally beautifully found its shape. Let this be that moment, Cancer. The emotional pressure is easing. The rhythm is exquisitely rebalancing. And the radiant light you once poured so steadily and generously into others is now beginning its gentle return home to you. Not all storms arrive to tear down. Some come to quietly reveal what never truly held strong. And what is now gracefully moving through your energetic field, dear Cancer, is the soft unraveling of something that was never truly meant to confine your tender spirit. The Tower, when joined by the Knight of Swords and the earlier surge of powerful wedge-like energy, tells a story not just of tension, but of profound emotional release, the kind that shakes the very ground only to unveil what can finally authentically grow there. Sometimes it takes a sudden, gentle upheaval to expose the truth that has been patiently waiting right in front of you. Not because you were naive, but because your heart, gentle and loyal, chose always to see the best. And now the clarity you have so deeply earned begins to rise slow and unwavering, like the dawn mist gracefully lifting from a valley after a long restoring rain. I hold a sacred truth close during seasons such as this. When something is not built upon honesty and authentic feeling, the earth in its divine timing will eventually crack beneath it, no matter how long it outwardly stood. This profound truth can manifest in many forms: a relationship ending without warning, a family dynamic subtly souring without a clear spoken reason, or an emotional betrayal that stings with its sudden surprise. It can feel deeply personal, raw, and unjust in the immediate moment. But look again, gentle soul, with the discerning eyes of your deepest self. The Tower never tears down what is sacred. It removes what is hollow, so that you may rebuild upon emotional soil that truly holds, that truly nourishes. Not everyone or everything is meant to walk beside you into the next luminous stretch of your path. And that truth, though it may feel heavy, is ultimately merciful. When the Knight of Swords gracefully rushes through chaos, it signals sudden emotional clarity, the swift, decisive action that follows too much patient emotional waiting. You may feel an urge to move boldly, to gently quit an emotionally draining situation, to lovingly confront a long-standing issue, to cut cords that have long been overdue. Or perhaps the universe, in its infinite wisdom, moves ahead of you and clears the path first. Do not resist it, dear Cancer. This is divine momentum, often disguised as disruption. It is not recklessness. It is sacred emotional correction. Years ago, I witnessed a friend, a steadfast Cancer, lose her sense of emotional safety overnight due to false accusations or a sudden shift in a trusted relationship. She felt utterly gutted, deeply humiliated, and profoundly disoriented. But just 3 days later, she was offered her dream home, or a profound sense of belonging within a community she once thought was entirely out of reach. The truth, she would have never taken that courageous leap if she hadn't been gently yet firmly pushed. That, dear Cancer, is so often what this energy truly is. A gentle push disguised as a problem, a side road that becomes the most authentic path, a divine interruption that takes what was limiting you emotionally and transforms it into your next powerful bridge. But what should you do with the lingering ache, the quiet confusion, the subtle sense of betrayal? You face it, you write it down, you let it breathe. But you do not, under any circumstance, allow it to take root within your sacred being. One gentle ritual I often suggest during passages like this is sacred emotional release. Write down the names, the wounds, the limiting beliefs you no longer need to carry. Then safely burn them. Watch the smoke curl gracefully upward, and as it dissipates, whisper, "I forgive, because peace is what I truly deserve." For in truth, forgiveness is not a gift for another. It is the open gate you lovingly walk through to reclaim your own profound calm. If someone around you feels like a constant emotional drain, if their presence dims your inner light or stirs quiet confusion, trust that deep intuitive knowing: not all harm bleeds visibly. Some simply weighs heavily on your heart. And you, dear Cancer, are not meant to shoulder the emotional weight of others while dimming your own radiant brightness. This is your sacred season to choose differently, to guard your precious emotional vision, your inner peace, your inherent worth. So let me ask you, Cancer, is there someone or something in your life that no longer harmonizes with the quiet stability and emotional safety you are now so beautifully creating? Is there a situation that gently collapses the moment you cease, propping it up emotionally? Write it down, reflect with tenderness, and then choose release. Your path forward does not ask you to carry everyone, only what is truly real and authentically yours. And when you are ready, share this in the comments. I release emotional burdens and embrace my sacred boundaries. Let that be your affirmation, your permission, your profound new beginning. Because sometimes, my dear, collapse is the greatest gift. Sometimes the dust it leaves behind is the sacred doorway. And right now, you are not breaking down. You are gracefully breaking open. There is a quiet magic now unfolding as the moon moves through your steadfast sign, especially in its tender crescent form. It does not shout or rush. It hums with renewal, deep intimacy, and a subtle, unseen emotional alignment. And on October 23rd, as this moon drapes its silver calm across your Cancer skies, it gently opens a gate not only to new emotional growth, but to something even softer and deeper, profound emotional acknowledgement. What you have longed for, to be truly understood, deeply supported, and met in your authentic essence, is now beginning to beautifully take form. This is no longer the wild energy of the tower. It feels like walking into a sacred space and instantly knowing in your deepest core that you belong there. It is the unexpected call from someone who truly sees your worth and desires to invest not just with resources, but with unwavering emotional faith. It is the gentle reconnection with someone once thought gone, who now returns not to repeat the past, but to bear witness to the grounded emotional strength you have so beautifully become. The Two of Cups is not solely about romantic love. It is about the quiet recognition of a profound connection that simply fits. And this transit brings precisely that: the right connection at the perfect time, with the kind of deep emotional steadiness your soul can finally lean into. In the ancient language of astrology, Cancer is the sacred keeper of deep emotional loyalty, intrinsic value in family and home, and soul-rooted bonds, not just in matters of the heart, but in shared emotional purpose and quiet camaraderie. So when the moon returns to this cherished space, you are not merely reminded of connection. You are being tenderly invited to experience it in a way that feels utterly safe and profoundly real. It might arrive through someone new, whose energy settles you the very moment they enter your sphere. Or it could arrive through someone familiar, finally ready to meet you precisely where you have grown. Whatever delicate shape it takes, the deeper call is to receive with trust in your sacred instincts, not with armor built from old pain. After long chapters of betrayal or quiet doubt, it is natural human to grow cautious. You learn to question kindness, to subtly study intentions, to hesitate before letting anyone truly in. But what if this time, dear Cancer, it is the profound emotional connection you have been so meticulously preparing for? What if this sacred bond was written long ago and only now feels exquisitely right because you are finally ready to tenderly hold it. The proof will not reside in grand promises or perfectly uttered words. It will live in how your body gently softens, how your breath deeply expands when you are near them. That, my dear, is the profound difference between fleeting chemistry and true divine emotional alignment. And you, gentle Cancer, are now here to feel the real abiding thing. This potent energy also holds beautiful potential for synergistic emotional partnerships, a wise mentor who nurtures your soul, a creative collaborator who shares your vision for a project close to your heart, or someone who simply shares your emotional wisdom and yearns to help shape it into grounded reality. Stay rooted in your truth. Be softly curious. Allow yourself to ask the questions that arise, but also pay exquisite attention to the quiet pauses, to the unspoken feeling beneath their tone. Sometimes, the biggest yes does not live in a formal contract. It lives in a conversation that lands like a precious seed already beginning to sprout within your heart. You are not meant to carry your magnificent emotional vision alone, and this sacred support could be precisely what helps it finally bloom. One gentle practice I suggest under this moon is writing a heartfelt letter to your future self, the version of you already living, breathing, and embodying what you are now so lovingly calling in. Describe the peaceful, emotionally secure space you now rest within, the graceful flow of nurturing connections you manage, the tender hand you hold, the profound peace that fills your chest when you awaken. Be honest, be tender, then read it aloud. You will be surprised how intimately close it feels, how exquisitely real it suddenly becomes. Because when you give something words, you begin to give it sacred shape. So let me ask you gently, dear Cancer, do you truly trust that your energy has matured enough to draw in connections that deeply nourish you rather than subtly deplete you emotionally? Because this next chapter, my love, is not about passively waiting for more signs. It is about deeply trusting what is already profoundly clear within you. You are ready. You are capable. You are chosen not by fleeting chance, but by divine design. So ask yourself with a tender heart, what will I do differently this time? What am I truly ready to gently let go of emotionally? And even more deeply, what am I finally prepared in my whole being to receive? Can you for a moment simply imagine how life might beautifully change if you trusted completely that everything is now unfolding in perfect, harmonious rhythm? Take a breath now to honor your journey. You have come further than you realize, and your very presence in this shared space right here, right now, is profound proof that your soul is listening, aligning, and refusing to settle for less than what you were divinely built for. If this message has touched something sacred within you, claim your next chapter with unwavering intention. Comment below, I choose to live in emotional freedom and nurturing abundance. Let your words ground the vibrant energy that is already surrounding you. And if you feel tenderly drawn to go deeper to stay connected with the gentle guidance unfolding ahead, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and turn on your notifications, because what is coming next for Cancer is truly extraordinary, kind of growth that roots deeply and blooms magnificently all at once. From my heart, thank you for sharing this sacred moment, for adding your radiant light to this space we are creating together. Every like, every comment, every share ripples out, carrying this message to those who need it as much as you did. And always remember, my dear, you do not need anyone's permission to begin again. You are the sole author of your own becoming. You are not broken. You are beautifully blooming. And when the universe moves, it moves with you. Stay steady. Stay grounded in your heart. Stay open. Because Cancer, your divine emotional justice is already irrevocably unfolding. If you feel even the smallest yes resonate within your spirit, I invite you to anchor it now. Comment below with, "I welcome profound connection and emotional sovereignty." Let that be your grounding affirmation tonight. Say it softly, like tenderly watering a seed, not because you are hoping, but because you are already becoming. Because sometimes, my dear, the moon doesn't just light your path. It gently brings someone who is truly meant to walk beside you. After all the profound shifts, the quiet breakthroughs, the unexpected endings, and the gentle openings, there arrives a sacred pause where life tenderly invites you to simply notice what is finally blooming. And Cancer, this, my love, is that very moment. The presence of the feast card here is not about mere indulgence. It is a gentle reminder that even the softest, quietest emotional winds deserve to be deeply honored. Every small shift, an unexpected message of care, a gentle yes to your emotional needs, a new doorway to a more secure home, these are all sacred signs that you are now flowing in harmony with something far greater than yourself. So many wait for the perceived finish line to celebrate. But what if joy, dear one, is the very fuel that gracefully guides you there? The moment you recognize even a sliver of sacred emotional progress, you amplify its power. Celebration, you see, is simply gratitude in beautiful motion. And gratitude is one of the strongest, most magnetic signals you can send out into the world. It is a mirror, and when you reflect thankfulness outward, the universe in its boundless abundance reflects that very abundance right back to you. At the same time, the presence of the damage card in its gentle wisdom reminds you that manifestation is not magic without a firm foundation. It is magic beautifully built on clear intention and loving preparation. While the universe undeniably supports you energetically, it is also tenderly asking you to make choices that keep you steady, grounded in your heart and wise. That means taking another gentle, discerning look at your sacred emotional resources, ensuring that what you are now so lovingly building has both deep roots and ample room to gracefully grow. One gentle way to begin is by creating two distinct emotional spaces, one for your daily grounding needs for comfort and security, and another for your dearest, most expansive dreams of home and family. The first lovingly grounds you in emotional safety, while the second powerfully tells the universe that you deeply believe in what is now coming. It matters not how much fills that dream space yet. What truly matters is that it exists. It is a vessel, a promise, a quiet, potent signal to your subconscious that your emotional future is not wishful thinking. It is lovingly forming right now, and your precious body plays a vital role in this profound alignment too. If you have been feeling emotionally heavy, scattered, or quietly tired, remember that how you digest food profoundly mirrors how you digest life itself. Slow down when you eat. Choose foods that feel alive, vibrant, and nourishing, fresh greens, whole grains, clean water sipped with mindful presence. These small, tender acts bring your body into exquisite harmony with the clarity your spirit has been so diligently cultivating. Gentle movement helps as well, not just sweating or striving, but conscious, mindful presence. A few minutes each morning with one hand placed gently on your chest, one on your belly, breathing deep until your body feels utterly safe again. As you breathe softly, whisper a truth you yearn to live by. I allow emotional support to nourish me with ease, or I am safe to expand and truly belong. Your nervous system needs to deeply feel what your mind imagines. That, my dear, is how emotional abundance becomes beautifully embodied, not just envisioned. When it comes to matters of the heart, try writing what I lovingly call a soul agreement, not for anyone else, but purely for you. Write the kind of love you truly deserve, the tender care you are now exquisitely ready to receive, and what emotional energy you will never ever carry again. Place it somewhere visible, somewhere sacred. Let it remind you daily, That profound love begins with your own gentle permission. The universe will only meet you at the sacred standard you hold for yourself and for the energy within your true home. Surround yourself with the radiant hues of silver and soft blues. Silver exquisitely reflects the moon's intuition, emotional depth, and nurturing light. Soft blues gently steady the mind and anchor emotional truth and peace. Together, they beautifully balance intuition and calm desire and wisdom. You can also write the numbers 2 and 4 on small slips of paper. Keep them near your mirror, in your wallet, or on your desk. These numbers hold the potent vibration of partnerships, balance, and the foundational security of home. They are already lovingly woven into your story this month, quietly at work, moving on your behalf. So as you sit with what this message has so tenderly stirred within you, comment below with, "I celebrate my progress, I protect my path, and I trust what's next." Speak it as a promise, a blessing, a calm, deep remembering, not from a place of urgency, but from a place of profound peace. Because when you embody that peace, dear Cancer, the current truly begins to carry you. When the energy finally shifts, it isn't the outer noise that proves it. It is the quiet that follows. It is the deep knowing when you realize you are now gracefully flowing with life, not against it. That, my dear Cancer, is precisely where you are now. What is coming toward you is not coincidence. It is not fleeting luck. It is emotional balance being exquisitely restored, and it is profoundly, unequivocally yours. Not just any justice, but karmic justice, the kind you have so deeply earned through unwavering patience, persistent emotional effort, and quiet grace. It does not demand that you prove your worth. It simply hands you the key and tenderly reminds you that the door to your true emotional home was always, always yours. Because truthfully, life does not give us power, dear one. It uncovers it. Through every long night, every quiet prayer, every moment you smiled through emotional uncertainty, you were building something unseen, something sacred, your strength, your loyalty, your inherent worth. And now that unseen labor is ready to reveal itself in forms you can truly touch, deeply feel, and lovingly embrace. But the next sacred step, my dear, belongs to you. Will you meet this profound shift with unwavering faith? Will you walk through this new threshold with both hands open, ready to receive? Will you take what you have learned, your boundaries, your value, your intuition, and use it wisely with grace and discernment?